Hello Pokemon trainers, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Battle Stadium singles video where I climb the online Battle Stadium singles ladder to reach Master Ball tier. Now the days are running out, we are almost at the end of the season. I might be uploading this past the end of the season in case, depending on when I upload the other videos, but basically we are still in season 1 in this video and the season does end on January 4th. They haven't announced the rules for season 2 yet, I believe, so they might just be the same. I expect them to actually just be the same exact rules. There's a possibility they let like Cinderace and Quagsire be legal, and Charizard as well, which would be really interesting, but who knows if that's going to be the case. Either way, my point is a lot of these Pokemon and even possibly this team will still be viable in season 2. So if the rules are any different, maybe I'll post something in the video right here. I'll put something, or also in the description, just in case there's any differences. But I expect, like I said, I expect the rules to be the same, in which case this team shouldn't be very different, even though, I'm recording this before the end of season 1 and probably uploading it after season 2 has begun. Anyways, let's get to the team. This is a team that I saw on the Smogon forums, which if you've heard me, or if you watch me do these battles, you've probably heard me reference the Smogon forums a lot. They're pretty useful. Maybe if I remember to, I'll put a link in the description here, because that's kind of where I like to go to get ideas for the meta, but also what Pokemon people are using, some off-meta picks and stuff like that, and that's actually where I found this team. So I will put I forgot the name of the person, if I'm being quite honest, but shout out to them in the Smogon forums. Let me actually check that real quick. Yeah, this looks like Smogon user Chiomago, which you can also see at the top right there. And this is their team, so shout out to them if you happen to be watching this video. Awesome team, I love it. They did a really good rundown in their post, and they put the team code, so of course I was going to try this. A lot of these Pokemon are pretty standard, but the one that probably stands out to you, and definitely the one that stood out to me, is Lokix, right there in the top right. And according to this user's post, Lokix is basically like the lead, and it does a ton of damage with First Impression. Now, First Impression is kind of like Fake Out, where you can only use it the first turn you're sent out into battle, but it does a ton of damage unlike Fake Out, and it also does not make them flinch. So it's basically a huge priority move that does a ton of damage on turn 1, and anytime you switch Lokix in. And of course, Tinted Lens means that even Pokemon that resist it are also going to be taking a lot of damage. The rest of these spreads and sets are actually just pretty typical. Like, they're pretty commonly run sets, which is good because I kind of prefer that. Unless I'm building the team myself and I know what certain EVs are for, I just like running the basic, like, 252, 252. So this is an awesome team. I love all these Pokemon. Let's just kind of go for it. I guess I'll talk a little bit more about the other Pokemon as well. We've got Assault Vest Baxcalibur, which seems really good. I believe the EVs are just max attack and max speed. Then we have Trick Goldango, which is a set that I've had a lot of success with. Something that I hadn't really tried that I should have is actually Thunderbolt. On my Trick Goldangos with Choice Scarf, I was running Nasty Plot, and it was cool to sometimes trick something a Choice Scarf and then set up Nasty Plot. But that doesn't always seem useful, and also some of the things that you want to be tricking, like, for example, Dondozo, they ignore Nasty Plot boosts anyway, so Thunderbolt's just great for that. Garganacl I've used in previous teams, makes a lot of sense. I've used Skeledirge as well. In fact, I think I've used almost all of these Pokemon except Lokix, so this will be a good Lokix showcase. Then we got Choice Specs Rotom, pretty standard as well. We got Skeledirge, who, another pretty standard Pokemon. So yeah, let's just try out some games, see how this goes. All right, we've got game number 1, and what is going on? My opponent also has Lokix. What are the odds of that? I feel like whenever I'm expecting or not expecting to face something, I don't know, I always get the same Pokemon. I don't know, it's so weird. Anyways, Lokix is really good here. It can do a ton of damage to everything. Of course, the biggest thing that I'll be afraid of will be my opponent's Lokix. However, the big issue with that is I don't think I have a great switch into theirs, which is pretty funny actually. But I do want to bring Lokix here, and I do want to lead with it, although I wouldn't be surprised if they lead with their own. If they do, that's going to be really scary. However, nothing on their team can really take a turn 1 First Impression. Anyway, besides that, I like Skeledirge a lot. It's really good against a lot of their team, especially if I can get the Terra Fairy going. I think that's going to be the way to go. because Terra Fairy is just so good against their team. So I'm going to bring that. And then from there, Goldango looks like it could be scary if it either survives a Lokix hit or if, you know, I don't know, Lokix goes down or something like that. And let's see, who can handle Goldango decently well? Maybe this, but I don't want to Terra that. There's also Rotom, who is pretty well rounded against their team, but they also have a Rotom of their own. I'm going to have to make a decision really quickly, though. I'm just going to choose Rotom, and we're going to see how that goes. I didn't really have enough time. I didn't give myself enough time there, but if they bring their Lokix turn 1 against mine, that's going to be the worst case scenario, I think, because I'll probably end up switching out at that point. I'm adamant. And if their Lokix is Jolly, then they're definitely going to outspeed me. But even if they're adamant, of course, it's going to be a 50-50, and I just don't want to take that chance. However, they do go into Palafin, which I think is great for me because I believe First Impression has higher priority than even Jet Punch. So I imagine they're just going to switch here. So if I Terra Bug, obviously that means I cannot Terra Fairy my Skeledirge, but I still think that's worth it. Or I can just straight up First Impression without going Terra first, or I can expect them to switch and just go U-turn. I am going to First Impression without Terra here. Yeah, they withdraw, which is unsurprising. I mean, we're going to see how much damage this does. Like I said, if we had gone Terra, we would have probably knocked out whatever this is, but I just don't want to commit the Terra right away. But I do get a ton of damage on that. I do get a critical hit. I'm not sure that matters. And then it's going to be me versus Grimmsnarl. I could Sucker Punch here. No, but actually, let's see. Because I know they're probably going to go for like a Reflect or something like that. I'm not sure I want a U-turn, though. I mean, Skeledirge is nice against a lot of their team. I think it's just going to be Skeledirge. I think I just U-turn into Skeledirge. I could Axe Kick here, but I'm just going to U-turn here just so I can get off some, you know, First Impression damage later. And if I choose to Terra, I could, you know, get off a ton of damage on Palafin. But my opponent makes a pretty predictable play and goes for the Reflect. I do get the kill on the Grimmsnarl. However, now if their Palafin comes in, it's going to be doing a ton of damage. So what I'm going to want to do now is actually just go into Rotom. I think going into Skeledirge, if I make the wrong call and they go into something that's good against Skeledirge, I just kind of like almost automatically lose. And almost all of my Pokemon, it's funny, all of my Pokemon are like good against Palafin, but also simultaneously bad against it. Like they all have a way that they can beat Palafin, but also Palafin is just so scary that, you know, they can totally take a lot of, or they can totally kill me as well. But they go into their Rotom. I am Choice Specs rather than Choice Scarf. I think I just T-Bolt here. I would love to Terra, but then against their Palafin, it's going to remove my Water type, which will resist their moves. And then also, that commits my Terra a little early. So they take that really well, which means they're likely bulky. And they do a lot of damage to me, but this should kill them. And I'm in a good spot here because assuming I outspeed them once again, I should be able to kill them here. And they absolutely cannot switch Palafin into this. And that's a great spot to be in. Now, of course, Rotom, actually, never mind. I was gonna say Rotom is my only special attacker against the likes of Palafin, who is behind a Reflect, but no, I think we're fine here. So with my 3 remaining Pokemon, it's 3v1, which is always a great place to be in. I'm gonna absolutely go Thunderbolt here just to keep them from doing anything funny like Bulk Up or Substitute. I just kind of gotta force them here to do something to me. If they're adamant, I might outspeed them though. It looks like this is gonna be Terra Water, unsurprisingly. And then what I do, I think is, I mean, Terra Water is going to be hitting really hard. If this is Wave Crash Palafin, we might be in a little bit of trouble here. Let's see what happens, though. They go Jet Punch. Okay, I probably die. Okay, I die for sure. Okay, so if they're Choice, then they're locked into a weaker move. If they're not choiced, this is, I mean, let's see. They still have Reflect. I don't think there's any world where I'm going to be going Terra on Lokix, right? So I don't think I Lokix right now. I think my best bet is to try to, I mean, possibly stall out Reflect turns, which I don't think is even really possible. Oh, nice. It's shiny. Awesome. Looks like my opponent or my team has a lot of shinies as well. I mean, Lokix is not, but anyways, let's take a look at what's going on here. They still have 1 turn of Reflect unless they're Light Clay. I mean, I absolutely have to Terrastalize here. And do I slack off? I'm gonna slack off to Scout. Worst case scenario for me, well, okay, no, actually this is just fine. I was gonna say worst case scenario, they go bulk up, but I have Unaware, so I just ignore that anyway. So they can't bulk up basically, so they're gonna have to be forced to do some damage to me, which allows me to go for that slack off and just kind of scout what they're gonna do here. I mean, Skeledirge is really tanky. They go Ice Punch, interesting. So I think they figured I would Terra, but at the same time, if you figure that, water type moves are better. I mean, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. So I know I can take a hit from them really well. I think it's a little greedy, but I'm just going to Torch Song here just to get off some damage. They do bulk up, but again, I'm Unaware, so I have Unaware, so that's not going to matter at all against me. And it looks like I will be able to stall out the Reflect. So if worst comes to worst, and I, maybe take this Palafin down really low and somehow die, I can still go into my Lokix and probably finish them off with First Impression. So they go Jet Punch here. It does a lot more damage, but a Shadow Ball should do a lot. So we know they have Bulk Up, we know they have Jet Punch, we know they have Ice Punch, and we get the special defense drop. So I think that's game. Yeah, I get the Leftovers Recovery. So even if they get a crit here, I guess they could go Wave Crash and kill me or something, but it's going to give them a lot of recoil. So I just can't see a way that my opponent could win this game. So Game 1, we had a great showing of this Skeledirge. We also had a decent showing of Lokix. I was definitely afraid of theirs, but I guess I had enough Pokemon on my team to kind of scare it off. But yeah, this is a great game for me. Oh, wow, it survives. Okay. I don't think that matters, though. I think I should live a 3rd Jet Punch, and even if I don't, once again, I have Lokix with the First Impression. So I wasn't expecting that, though. I guess I should have kind of considered that, but we're fine, I think. Just go Shadow Ball, because I don't want them to, somehow recover or something, even though I don't think Palafin has a way to do that. Bulk up. I mean, I just First Impression here, right? This is the part. Oh, wait. Okay, this is the part of the match where I start second guessing everything. Let's see. First Impression. I'm pretty sure it's like Fake Out, where it always has top priority. I mean, I can't check that right now. I can check it when I send it in. So in that case, I don't think I want to go Sucker Punch because, well, one, they have Bulk Up, but also, their Jet Punch might be faster. I'm going to go for, I mean, this is all I have here, right? Okay. Perfect. It works the way I wanted it to. It works the way I thought it would. See, I mean, I knew that in the back of my mind. I knew that's how it was going to work. I was always going to go first, and I can only use that move once the first turn I come into battle. But, that's the part of the match where it seems so certain that I'm going to be winning that I start doubting everything. Like, oh, what if they have, I don't know, Extreme Speed, even though it can't learn that, or I don't know. But anyways, we end up winning Game 1. I like this team so far. Let's go to Game 2. All right, we're on game number 2 here. My opponent has another interesting team, a lot of power. This is funny. This looks a lot like my Rain team that I was using. A lot of the Pokemon that I switched out for, except they have Mimikyu. They don't have Rain, obviously, but they have Mimikyu and stuff. Honestly, they have a lot of Pokemon that are really good. They have a lot of kind of unconventional Pokemon that you don't typically see. I think right away, I'm recognizing that Skeledirge looks really good here. They have a lot of good physical attackers, and Skeledirge just kind of shrugs all of them off. They also have a couple of ghost types, and I have Terra Fairy. So that's just a great starting point for me. I'm also tempted to bring Lokix right away, just because I know it's going to do a lot of damage against the likes of Dragapult. And then if they go Tinkaton, actually Tinkaton is good against Lokix, but I know for sure I want to bring Skeledirge. And then from my end, the threats that I have might be Garganacl, maybe? They might be underestimating Lokix, which I hope. Garganacl, again, given that I want to Terra Skeledirge, that means I would not Terra this, and that's probably a little worse for me. I mean, I think I'm just leading Lokix. I'm also leaning towards bringing this, but I'm also tempted to bring Goldango. I think I just got to go with this, though. Goldango would actually be nice, though, because it has Scarf, although I think Timid Scarf Goldango outspeeds Dragapult, although Modest Scarf does not. I was running Modest Scarf on one of my previous teams, and it barely missed the outspeed on Dragapult, but I locked it in. Let's see how this goes. I brought Lokix, Skeleturge, and Rotom. Let's see what happens here. They lead Tinkaton, which is honestly a worst case scenario for me. However, I can just go straight into Skeleturge here, and I resist. I think I actually resist both of its stab moves. I guess they could have like a dark type move, but Tinkaton is not the strongest Pokemon out there. So going into Skeleturge turn 1, I'm just thinking here, maybe I could have gone U-turn, but Tinkaton does have Fake Out. So I guess just preserving my Lokix as much as possible and just like preserving that damage is probably a good spot to be in. So I'm just going to switch out right here, go into Skeleturge, who I've assessed is pretty good against almost their entire team. And I think I can just go from there. Now the thing is, okay, they knock off. Oh my goodness, that's great. Well, that's great for them is what I meant, but it actually just does not do that much damage at all. So I'm able to get off a Torch Song. There's no way ever that I'm going to Terra against a Tinkaton because they have Gigaton Hammer. So they have knockoff. I'm sure they have Gigaton Hammer and Play Rough, so I wonder what their fourth move is. If they go into Hydreigon here, that could be a little bit scary. So let's see what happens here. They do absolutely go Hydreigon. They will not want to Terra against me. That does decent damage. The funny thing is, once I Terra, I'm in a pretty good spot against Hydreigon, unless they predict this and actually go for Flash Cannon, which actually would be really good. This is a really interesting game. Like, the decisions I make are going to be pretty impactful. And also the fact that Hydreigon's kind of a wild card when it comes to terrestrializing because it can be so many different types is pretty scary. Like, if they happen to... Yeah, this is actually really scary because usually Hydreigon runs Flash Cannon. Like that's pretty standard on it. Like if I switch in Rotom, I think I'm just going to be taking too much damage. But at the same time, like if I stay in and they Dark Pulse me, that's also really bad. It's a prediction game. I'm going to slack off. I'm going to Terra and slack off. If they make the right call and actually go Flash Cannon, I mean, I guess good on them, right? Like what else can I do against that? You know, it's a prediction game. Like, it depends on which of us is going to make the right prediction here. So, really interesting situation. I'm going to Terra Fairy and hope that they Dark Pulse or Draco Meteor. They do Dark Pulse. That's great. And then, oh, wow, that does so much damage, which means they are probably Choice Specs. It's good to know that they have Dark Pulse, though. I think I'm just going to go into Lokix here and take the Dark Pulse and then First Impression. Wow, that does so much damage. I could stay in, but none of my moves do that much damage against Hydreigon. I just got to switch here. Hydreigon's a big threat against me, and I think if I'm going to win this game, I'm going to need Lokix, which is really funny because I just switched into it. Oh, they withdraw 2. Wow, I think they're going into Tinkaton. If they go Tinkaton, though, I'm fine. I'm just going to I'm just going to First Impression again as well. But they do go into Hydreigon, or I'm sorry, Dragapult, which is a really interesting play on their part. Now I wonder whether I go Sucker Punch or First Impression. I think I go... Oh man, this is so tough. They had to have predicted me to switch there, right? They had to have. Huh. This is horrifying. Once again, it's up to which prediction I make here. Like, what are the odds they have a Fire type move? I'm going to Sucker Punch. They can't Terra. Oh no, they can Terra. They can. Okay. Good. Okay, good play on their part. I think Ghost resists Bug, so if they Terra Dragon, they Terra Normal. Interesting. Terra Normal. Okay. Well, Skeleturge is great against the rest of their team. That does a lot of damage. They're probably killing me here, though. Cursed Body. Wow, that always happens. Had I gone First Impression, I would have done a lot more damage to them. Double Edge. What? With normal gem? What is going on? You never... Okay, you know, all the power to them for running something. They got a useless crit. All the power to them for running something that you just do not expect. You know, there are situations in these games, like we've seen, where it's like, okay, it's a 50-50, whatever they do, you know, that's all I can do against them, right? But there are also situations like this where they do something and you just absolutely had no expectation of that. So I think I have to go Skeleturge here. That knockoff was actually pretty clutch for them. I'm just gonna go Torch Song because it will knock them out and boost my special attack, and then they're probably gonna go like Tinkaton or something. They don't have a good switch to Torch Song either, and I guess if they have like Flash Cannon on their Hydreigon, that's good for them. Oh yeah, maybe they do. Man, yeah, this is the funny part where Skeleturge is great as a fairy type and also great as a ghost and fire type, and you can't switch back and forth. Once you switch, you're locked in. I am gonna go into Road. If they, again, this is a prediction game. If they have Flash Cannon and I stay in, I'm dead. If they have Flash Cannon and I go into Rotom, I guess there's a chance I survive. If they don't have Flash Cannon, that's my best hope, but again, I just don't have any moves to hit Hydreigon. And then this cannot live a Gigaton Hammer. So like basically if Rotom dies here, which is likely to happen, then I can't win against, I don't think I can win this game. I can't win against Tinkaton if that's the case. But my gut is telling me to go into Rotom here. I'm expecting them to Flash Cannon. Thing is, though, if they don't Flash Cannon and Rotom just dies, then, you know. Again, it's a 50-50. It depends on whoever makes the right prediction there. My opponent, luckily, yeah, they do go Flash Cannon, as I predicted. Oh, wow, I take that really well. That's really interesting, because Skeleturge took a resisted Dark Pulse really badly, and then now, I don't know, that's really interesting. Anyway, I just spam Thunderbolt now. I can't risk Hydro Pump missing. This is such a critical part of the battle that I cannot risk Hydro Pump missing at all. Now, they go into Tinkaton, which is great for me, because I think I might be able to take them out with 2 Thunderbolts, depending on their EV spread. If they're max speed Jolly, they're going to outspeed me. Oh, they have a berry. Dang it. All right. Oh, man, that sucks. Okay, well, I mean, Rotom's the best bet against Tinkaton anyway, so I just go Thunderbolt here. They're probably going to knock off, which might help me. We'll see. That berry might have been really clutch for them as well. But yeah, we'll see how this plays out. If I can knock out Tinkaton, I mean, I'm still going to need Rotom for that Hydreigon. This is a tough one. If they're not max speed, if I somehow outspeed them and I somehow get a lucky knockout here, then the battle is going to be hugely in my favor. Because as long as I have both Skeleturge and Rotom alive, their Hydreigon just can't go for Flash Cannon. They can't lock themselves into Flash Cannon. I'm faster still. That's good to know. Oh, so close. They do go knockoff. Okay, well, I'm still going to be faster. That does no damage at all. And then I go Thunderbolt. Yeah, that, well, I go Volt Switch here, knock them out. I know I'm faster unless we're speed tying. Knock them out, and then I go into Skeleturge, because if they go into Hydreigon here, it's a prediction game once again. They have to decide whether to lock themselves into Flash Cannon or not. If they go into Dragapult, I want Skeleturge in against their Dragapult anyway. So this is just where it's got to be. Their Dragapult will probably hit decently hard. So yeah, this game's not over yet, but I'm in a better position right now than I was like a turn or two ago. They do go into Dragapult. Once again, we're on that prediction game. Double Edge will probably do a decent chunk of damage, and then I'll knock them off with, or knock them out with Torch Song. Or if I predict them to Double Edge, I can also just slack off here. I'm gonna slack off. They might reveal another trick up their sleeve though. Yeah, they go Double Edge. Let's see how much it does. I don't think it'll kill me. Okay, yeah, that just really doesn't do that much damage. Do they get knocked out? I didn't see. They don't get knocked out. Okay. So they have Double Edge. They have 3 other moves that we do not know about. I think I'm just going to Torch Song now. I don't want to run the risk of them. Oh, wow. You got to be kidding me. That's a game changer as well. Wow. I was not expecting such a... Wait. Oh, wait a minute. No. That's hilarious. I don't know if they were kind of baiting me there, like, oh, he's gonna slack off again, so I'm just gonna mess with him and Curse. But because Dragapult is no longer a ghost type, Curse doesn't work the way they want it to. So wow, for that second there, obviously, as you can see, I didn't think about that. Huh. Okay, so now once again, for the 80th time this game, prediction game. My Rotom's low enough. Wow. Oh man, I think I just got to play that. Like, let's see, do I have a special attack boost? I do, right? I just used it. So here I just go Shadow Ball. I probably die to the flash cannon unless they make the wrong prediction. No, they don't. This is probably the best play for them. I do survive. That's huge. Okay, my special defense falls. That's not a big deal. Once again, I'm pretty sure they're choiced, right? If I get the special defense drop, that's perfect. That's okay. I think I can live 2 flash cannons from Hydreigon, or I mean, maybe there's some miracle of a chance that I'm faster with Rotom. I did not get the special defense drop, but here I think 2 Thunderbolts just take them out, especially if I paralyze them. But we are very much in this game. This game is, we can very well win this game is what I was gonna say. So we go back into Rotom here. I'm gonna Thunderbolt. If I'm faster, I think that's great. I think that's probably game anyway. If I'm slower, there's a chance I paralyze, but also I know I'm taking these flash cannons really well. As long as they don't get that special defense drop, I take that extremely well. Okay, that's game. I think I win this game. Wow. That was an awesome game. There was a point in that game where I felt like there was no chance that I'm winning this. And then this team is just super clutch. This is amazing. I should knock them out here, but even if I don't, I know I take another flash cannon. Wow, that was a great game. Now, if I may here, I do think I played that really, really well. I played that to the best of my ability, just assessing which of their Pokemon were threats and which of my own Pokemon I needed in order to beat those threats. So I had to kind of preserve certain Pokemon in certain cases. I think I played the best I could. I think there were probably a couple moments where I could have played smarter, made better choices. But, you know, as I said so many times in this video, or in this battle, there were so many cases where it felt like just a 50-50, right? Like, you obviously can't read your opponent's mind. You can assess the situation enough to where you can make the most educated guess as to what your opponent's gonna do, but at the end of the day, you never know, right? You're never gonna expect Terra Normal double-edged Dragapult, right? So that's crazy, right? So that was a great game. Let's go ahead and do one more. All right, we got the last game for this video. My opponent's team, of course, is not a nice looking one. This is definitely an annoying team to play against. Something that I'm noticing right away, though, is that I kind of like Garganacl here with the Terra Poison. It seems really strong against a lot of their Pokemon. Just trying to think like what Terra their Magnezone could be, but I think Garganacl seems solid here, and even the Pokemon that can typically beat Garganacl, I can kind of beat them by Terra Poison, so I'm just going to do that. I think once again I like bringing Lokix here, because First Impression just hits so hard, and if I happen to Terra Bug, I think on the team post that this person made, I think they said like you have a chance to one-hit KO even Volcarona with Bug, Terra, First Impression. Aside from those, Goldango's actually not bad here either. I mean, it's great against Corviknight and Dondozo, who are 2 Pokemon that are otherwise going to be an issue for me, but I don't know, I think I bring Lokix. I definitely want to bring Garganacl, and then the last one, that's a tough one, because Volcarona is always just terrifying. I think I just want to bring this, right? This is great against Volcarona. I mean, I'm bringing it now. Skeledirge is great against Volcarona. It's good against Meowscarada, depending on if I Terra or not. It can help against Dragonite. I think it just gives me a lot of insurance against my opponent's scariest Pokemon, because my opponent has a couple Pokemon that are just terrifying setup sweepers, and then they have a couple Pokemon that are just like impossible walls to get through. So my opponent leads with Meowscarada, which is amazing for me because that's an excellent matchup. However, typically lead Meowscarada has Focus Sash, so that could be what's going on here. But I'm just gonna First Impression anyway and just see what happens here. If they switch, that's great. I obviously do not need to Terra in order to knock this thing out. If they're Sash, I mean, what else can I do, right? I can switch into Skeledirge or Garganacl, both of whom take a lot of damage from one of Meowscarada's stabs. And, you know, I can't U-turn because they're going to be faster. So they're thinking, which leads me to believe, yeah, they actually switched, so they might not be Sash. Or maybe they are, and they just really want to preserve that for later. But they're going to go into Volcarona, who, again, this should do a ton of damage. Wow, that does so much damage to them. And here, I'm just going to stay in and U-turn after seeing how much that did, because they might just try to scare me out to Quiver Dance. And I think losing Lokix this early is possibly okay. if it means having done this much damage against Volcarona. I just do not want the Volcarona to get a +1. And honestly though, if I'm being quite honest though, I think this might have been a misplay on my part, because even if they set up Quiver Dance, I have Skeledirge in the back. So yeah, that probably wasn't the smartest situation for me, but oh well. Okay, so I can go Skeledirge here. I would love to Terra Garganacl, but we're just going to go ahead and see, because it's looking like Terra Fairy Skeledirge could be in a solid spot here. Terra Fairy Skeledirge is great against Meowscarada, and then Fire and Ghost. Looks like they're going to Terra here, maybe? Fire and Ghost Dirge is great against Volk. Although they could have Earth Power. I think Volcarona gets Earth Power. I think it still does. They actually withdraw, though, which is great for me. Okay. Are they going... If they go back into... Okay, they go into this thing. Sure. Has Unaware. If they have Fissure... Huh. I know Fissure is always the fear with this thing. We see that they have Leftovers. We reveal that they have Leftovers. I don't think I can stay in, right? Oh, God. This is bad. Is this thing naturally faster than Dondozo? I'm just going to switch in here. I mean, maybe I should have just stayed in and... Actually, I probably should have stayed in and started spamming like Shadow Ball, but once again, it's kind of like one of those situations where it's like a 50-50. If I make this play and they don't make the play I expect, then I'm in a bad spot, and the opposite is also true. So I don't know. I don't want to switch in Garganacl to a Wave Crash or a Liquidation. I shouldn't have done this, honestly. I should have just stayed in there and probably Terra'd. Actually, oh, they yawn. Oh, that's perfect. That's a best case scenario. Okay. See, the thing is, what I'm gathering is that I think Terra Fairy Skeledirge, well, I was going to say Terra Fairy Skeledirge is great against the rest of their team, but also Terra Poison Garganacl is also pretty good. So I'm going to Salt Cure here and Terra. The worst fear is that they have Fissure, and if they kill me with Fissure, I mean, that's an awful way to lose, but what else can I can't, there's nothing I can do against that. I don't have any Terra Flying Pokemon. So I think Terra Poison Garganacl is solid against the rest of their team. They go Protect, interesting. So this actually would have been an amazing turn for me to Iron Defense. So they have Protect, they have Yawn. I mean, I'm gonna have to set up Iron Defense at some point. However, at the same time, no, I think I just Salt Cure here. I still don't know their last two moves, but my Iron Defense is ignored by this Dondozo because of Unaware. So we'll see what happens here. They're gonna Terra now, which means my Salt Cures are probably gonna be doing less damage. But I mean, I think I just go for it anyway. I mean, I went for it. Terra Dragon. Does it have Order Up? That's really interesting if it does. Okay, I get the Salt Cure off on them. I know I'm faster now. That's good to know. This is just going to do good residual damage to them. But at the same time, they have Fissure. Oh no. Well, like I said, if they have Fissure, there's nothing I can do about that, really. You know, eventually they might just land a Fissure, and that's just, you know, that's just it. That's all I can do here. So with that in mind, I think I go into this. They could still have a water move, but with that in mind, because like I said, I think Poison Garganacl is great against the rest of their team. I just have to hope to stall out their Fissures, or I mean, if they have a water move, then they can just start using that against me. Wow. Oh my goodness, they connect. All right. Okay, there it is. All right. Yeah, what else can I do, right? We still don't know their fourth move, right? Protect, Yawn, Fissure. Why Terra Dragon? That's so interesting to me. I think Salt Cure is doing just enough damage to nullify the Leftovers. It would be just so demoralizing to lose this game to Fissure, but like I said, there's really not much else I can do. I'm just gonna start body pressing here. If I can get rid of this Dondozo, then I'm going to be in an excellent spot. But, I mean... Okay, they missed that one. I think they've used Fissure 3 times. They still have 5 more. Unless they forgot to PP max it, then they only have 2 more, but... I don't know, dude. Yeah. I guess, I mean, that's literally why people have been running Flying type Terra Pokemon. Oh, they hit it. Oh my god. Nothing else I can say there. I mean, that's what that move does, you know? It's 30% accurate. I'm inclined to like complain about it and say like that move shouldn't exist, or it just brings hacks into the game, which again, it feels awful. It feels awful. This is probably the saltiest I've felt on camera like this, and it feels awful, but it's like, the counter argument to that is it's part of the game, and people could easily just say like, if you don't want to get fissured, run flying type Pokemon, or run levitators, or run flying type Terra types, right? So that did not feel like a real game, and in a lot of ways it wasn't, because all they did was roll the dice and they got lucky twice. That rhymed. That's why people run Fissure in Battle Stadium singles, because it's an extremely inaccurate move, but because it's just 3v3 battles, all you need to do, sometimes all you need to do is hit one Fissure, and the game is either you win the game, or you turn the game around so significantly that you effectively are gonna win the game. So that's why people run Fissures, because again, you only have 3 Pokemon, so if you knock one of them out, that's 1/3 of the opponent's team right there. And if you knock 2 of them out with the 30% accurate move, that's 2/3 of their team. So yeah, what else can I say? I'm very frustrated at having lost like that, but as much as I want to complain that like that move is really stupid and shouldn't be part of the game or whatever, like again, there's good counter arguments to be made, and I think if you're really terrified of Fissure, which I probably should be at this point, you should run counters to it, or run Pokemon that can take, that are immune to ground, or whatever the case might be. It feels dumb to have to do that, but it's part of the game. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry I had to end on that kind of a note, and that's going to end season 1 for me. I'll probably try to get, keep going from here, and with season 2 coming, I'm super excited. I'm going to try a lot of new things. Again, there's a chance that they add a couple Pokemon into the series for season 2. Maybe the Paradox Pokemon, maybe the legendary Pokemon. But even if they don't, which again, I'm not expecting them to, even if they don't, even if it's the same exact rule set, I'll be fine with that, because I'm having fun with this rule set, Dondozo aside. And there's a lot of Pokemon I still want to try. So thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet videos. And also let me know in the comments if there's any Pokemon you'd like to see me try out. I'll post this team code as well in the description, so you can try it out for yourself. And shout out again to Chiomago on the Smogon forums for making this team. Good stuff. I'll see you all soon. Happy New Year.